protect people like us, to save people like us. Yeah, you understand? Yeah. He uses us, yeah. Because he didn't use, like if you look in the Bible, he used Jacob, Abraham, all of them, Moses, and them, all they had their flaws. David, all had flaws. Unlike us, we have our flaws.
Moses was on an escape from a murder when God met him halfway.
Thank you for that. I think that can be part of your journey.
I appreciate it, sir. May we be blessed for that, sir.
You stay blessed too, man.
Thank you, Mr. Randall. I appreciate it. I receive it, sir.
Hi guys, my name is Randall Palmer. Yeah, I'm just now sharing my story and celebrating 8 years of recovery. Yeah, so I just want to give some background of my journey, where it started, and how I ended up to where I am today, all by the grace of God. Yeah, so I was born in a small colored community of Westbury about 42 years ago. Yeah, and also if I can think back how it started, grew up without a father, but I wouldn't say that I lacked anything because obviously, when you are the firstborn and the only, like the eldest, you get spoiled a lot. So yeah, I was spoiled a lot as a kid and all that. So I think that my problem started when I got into high school. As I said, I grew up well. I had support of my uncles, my cousins. So we are a very close knit family. So yeah, growing up without a father didn't affect me then in my early days of my life. But high school, it started hitting me when people started sharing about their fathers, about their dads, and all that. So for me, I always wanted a sense of belonging, and that's how I probably got into the wrong crowd, started hanging on with the wrong crowd. I can remember I started smoking marijuana first in high school. I think I was in that time it was still standard 7, so it would be grade 9. Yeah, I started smoking weed just to feel a part of something, understand? So yeah, I progressed through high school, but I didn't really have a problem with substances, although I smoked weed throughout. Only started when I finished school, started hanging out with the wrong friends, didn't have a job, hanging out with the wrong crowd, started selling drugs, and that is ultimately where a person started using. Yeah, when you start selling the drugs, because now I was exposed to certain substances, and obviously you're gonna try it before you're gonna sell it to the people. Yeah, so the curiosity got the best of us, and we started smoking. So yeah, after that, I think I was first arrested in 2001. Yeah, when I was arrested for robbery. From there, I spent maybe a weekend in jail, and that also gave me a fresh perspective of, whatever you're gonna do wrong in life, there will be consequences. I think my mom organized my job at Standard Bank, started working since 2002, and then life was good. Life was good. Stopped smoking hard drugs, just smoked weed that time. But yeah, it was on and off, on and off. I think yeah, like I progressed, and I remember nicely when I lost my job in 2009. 2009, also hanging out with the wrong friends, started experimenting, partying every week. Understand, got the wrong crowd. We went in, started defrauding Standard Bank. Obviously, they worked in the car division, so yeah, started fraud, got caught, got expelled from work. Yeah, and that is actually when I wouldn't say shit hit the fan, but that is where it just escalated, where everything just escalated and spiraled out of control. Because in that time, I remember my kids was maybe 3 years old and 2 years old, so there was a lot of pressure on me, and that pressure made me succumb to substances. Because the more I used, the more I forgot about my problems, the more the pressures of life lifted, and I think that is when I went into a small depression, and I just didn't care. I just didn't care because I've had a mindset of yes, I've lost everything, so I just don't care. So yeah, ended up stealing, ended up a couple of times in jail. So my addiction grew was from weed. It went to cat, from cat escalated to crystal meth, from crystal meth it escalated Mandrax, crystal meth on a daily, up and down. And from there things just got worse. Started stealing to feed the like addiction because the money ran out now. Started doing funny things. When I think back today, I don't think I probably do it sober minded, you understand? So yeah, we did funny things, a lot of weird things that I'm not proud of, just to feed one's addiction. I remember in 2015, one of my close friends, when he got clean, Like that planted a seed in my heart to say, you know what, that recovery is possible. Spoke to him that day, fresh out of rehab. Asked him, hey, brah, like, you must looking good, actually, you understand? And how actually did you do it? What's rehab about? Then he told me, you know what, with rehab, you'll do a lot of counseling, you'll speak to your therapist, step work, and all that. So that gave me like a fresh perspective because in my mind, I had a distorted perception of what rehabs is. Yeah, so like in my mind, I had a distorted perception of what rehabs was. I just thought maybe that they're just gonna punish you. You work from the morning up until the night, you understand? So he gave me, like, he actually planted a seed in my heart that recovery is possible because obviously he was one of my friends that was worse affected. Oh, he was like one of the worst, if I must put it that day. But that day, a seed was planted in my heart that recovery is possible. But then I was not ready. I probably didn't hit my rock bottom yet. So a year went by. I remember I got arrested maybe 3 times that year. And I was just like policeman by Sophia Town. He like spoke to me, asked, hey son, like what is your problem? And I just admitted to say, you know what, sir, me I have a drug problem, you understand? Like that is probably why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Then he said, okay, when you finish with your last case and all that, I should come see him because he might just have an opportunity for like a rehab for me because obviously we didn't have funds for like rehab at that moment of time. So yeah, a year went by after that proposal from him, and in 2015, my last born was born. Like my daughter, she was born in November. That December, that thought of going to rehab played on my mind, but you know it is December. No one wants to go to rehab in December, yeah. So come January of 2016, something just hit inside me. I remember one day I was like, it was this time, I was on my hustles, and then something just like clicked. Like my whole life played like in my mind. Like I asked myself the question, like, is this the life that you want? Is this like the life that God set out for you? Like, when is it gonna end? I couldn't answer myself. I like looked like my journey when I reflected back when I was working at Standard Bank. I reflected back that joy when my son was born, when my daughter was born, when life was good. So all that memories played, and where I am today, 2:30, I'll never forget that night. I think it was the 24th of January. I'll never forget that night. Coming from one of my crime sprees, walking down Long Road. That long road is from Northcliffe Corner to Sophia Town, the what's the name area, Newlands area. Walking on that road, 2:30, it started to like drizzle. I'm asking myself, Randall, is this a life that you want? When is it gonna end? And I think that is when that moment of desperation kicked in to say, you know what, I need to stop. I need to really change my life because thinking back, I actually walked and cried that night. Like I can still feel that raw emotion of that desperation to say, you know what, I need to change my life because if I don't change my life, I'm probably gonna die sometime soon because jails been there, institutions been there. So the next best thing was death. Yeah, death was I was actually knocking on death's door. So that Monday morning, got home, spoke to my mom to say, you know what, it's about time. Like she asked, where were you and all that. And I was just brutally honest with her to say, Ma, me, I am tired. Like I'm literally tired, and that I need change. That I'm sorry. We went to see that policeman, Mr. Mohammed. I think we went to Senkanishtara that Monday afternoon. We did the screening, and they said that I should come back the next day. Lo and behold, then the morning of that I had to go to like rehab. You know how it is. They say that you need to you need to have that last one. I remember my like cousin had a polo, jumped in a polo early in the morning, went to go buy my last bag. And that was literally my last bag. I remember buying the bag, telling those dealers, hey, today I'm going to like rehab. This is probably the last time that you're like gonna see me smoke or see me buy here from you. Bought it, got into the car, smoked it. I remember one of the friends that I was with, he went home quickly. I told him, hey, before I leave, I'm going to give you the pipe and I'm going to leave everything with you. So I didn't get him. Got the pipe on me. 1, 2, 3, I just hear my uncle pitched up sooner than what he was supposed to come. We were supposed to leave at 10 o'clock, but 9 o'clock he was there. I was still busy smoking. I was contemplating, must I go to rehab or must I just go to the back door and just run away? But then I remembered that desperation. I remembered the conversation I had with myself the night before. And I just thought, you know what, let's give this thing a try. Got into the car, still had drugs on me, still had the pipe on me. I remember I wanted to throw it out the window, but now we're on the highway driving about 80, 90. They're gonna wonder why am I opening up the window on the highway and throw it out. Obviously, you would have seen in the side view mirror. So yeah, I got this thing on me in my pocket and it's burning. That thing is playing on my mind on my way into rehab. I remember there was a toilet there. Got into the toilet. I looked at the pipe. It was still full of substances. I thought I must have that last drag, but then I remembered, you know what? I remembered why I am there. You understand why I am at that place where I am today. I rolled it up in tissue, put it on the floor, and I cramped it. So I think then and there, I actually crushed or broke my like addiction or that stronghold that the substances had over me. Went to the intake process. They booked me in. They did an admission. And I remember that night there was a doctor who came to come check us, do like a checkup on us. I remember asking him, Doctor, is this gonna work? Was a desperation. I remember there was a tear coming down my down my cheek. Ask him, Doctor, is this gonna work? Please just tell me, will this work? Because I was tired. Literally, I was spiritually tired, emotionally, physically. I was tired. I just wanted change within my life. He said, Son, this thing will only work if you want it to work. And that is the words that I still hold dear to my heart. Okay, I went into rehab, started my recovery journey. I remember having dreams while in rehab of using and all that. And in the morning when I would wake up and I see, okay, at least I'm safe. At least I'm in the confines of the rehab. That at least gave me some sort of comfort. Yeah, so my journey started in 2016 on the 26th of January. That is my clean date. So yeah, so did the program, came out, and that is when the real, when when your real journey starts. They always say when we are in like rehab, we are in a confined area, but once you leave rehab, I remember 2 3 days or like a week prior to like leaving, we just wanted to leave. We want to go home. We feel ready now, but 3 days up to leaving, I say then the fear, the anxiety really kicks in. Reality kicks in that you are about to leave the safe confines of the safe space. So got home that day. I remember I wanted like the first thing that was on my mind was to see my daughter. Got to see my daughter, held her in my arms, and I think that day, like I made that promise to say that I will never go back to where I was, and that emotion is still raw with me today because I remember that's a promise I made to myself. Even today, I am tearing up because that's how much it meant to me and still means to me. As I say, that day I remember holding her in my arms. I made that promise within my heart to God to say that no matter what happens in my life, that I will never go back. I will never use substances again. And today, 8 years clean, 8 years later, I'm still going strong because of that promise and that made up mind that I made that day to say no more is no more. No more will I put my family through that hurt. No more will I put them through that pain, going to police stations, courts, in and out, and all just all the distraction that addiction brings along. So I remember I was 1 year clean, but my like recovery journey when it started, I started off going to meetings, and in the meetings I found similarities. I found likewise people. I found people that I could relate to. That's why I would always say like your 5 pillars is very important. 5 pillars is God. It is your support structure, is the literature, the program, and it is your meetings. That is very, very important. And the fifth one, it is your like step work. So going to the meetings, I found like-minded people. I found people that has a zest for life. I found people that went through the same struggles of addiction. And when I went to the rooms, I can remember I was maybe 2 months clean, 3 months clean. People celebrated 4 months, 5 months. There was people that was years clean, and actually gave me hope and inspiration. You know what? That recovery is possible. I remember I got my first volunteering job when I was 1 year, 8 months clean. But prior to that job, how I found like just the love and the passion for helping people. I remember there was this one like rehab the foundation clinic with David Collins in him. They were having like a gardening job. There was an opening for a like gardener there. Then I applied for that garden job, but when I got there, he said no man, he remembers me because remember what our church, Crystal Ministries, we used to do a lot of outreaches, volunteering, doing lots of like bread drives, drug talks, and all that. So he said he remembers me from a one drug rally, and that I can make a difference in the colored communities. And he actually offered me a free 3-month course in recovery coaching. He said, you just make sure you get yourself here. And that was also probably a gift from God or like a blessing from above. Or as we would say in the rooms, like that is the gifts of recovery. The course was maybe 15,000 Rand, I like module. I did module 1, module 2, and module 3, and actually passed. And today I'm a qualified recovery coach. But now, prior to that, doing the recovery courses, that also gave me a fresh perspective of what recovery is about. And doing the volunteering prior to working at FRC. Today I'm working at FRC for 3 years now. But prior to coming here, I worked at another rehab for 3.5 years, Healing Choices. So how I found Healing Choices was when I did my volunteering, my hours. I did a few hours at Changes Rehab. I did at Bright Sparks Rehab. So I did like lots of hours at different rehabs in the Joburg area. And when I came across to Peter Killian's Awesome Institute Healing Choices, I remember one day as I was doing counseling, recovery coaching, one-on-ones, then he asked me, like, what are you like really like doing? Then I said, at the moment, I'm helping my mom because she ran a tuck shop at a primary school. I'm helping my mom. Then he said, if I'm willing, if I want to come sleep over a weekend just to see how things work here, and it is, and if I'm interested in helping and volunteering at Healing Choices, he will give me a chance. Went home, like with our family, we are very like spiritual. So spoke to my mom about it. She said, you know what, son, just like pray about it, and then take it from there. I remember opening my Bible to Proverbs. It says in Proverbs, like we might make the plans for our lives, but it's God who actually ordains it or has the final say in it. And then I like realized, you say, you know what, that was the answer, and started at Healing Choices. Ended up there 3.5 years being the house manager at Healing Choices, and that is where we got to help people. That is where I really had an interest in helping people and working in institutions like that. It actually helped me stay clean, and I've seen God change people's lives, and that change, like a permanent change. Once God touches you, I don't think that God leaves you. And I just grew stronger in my recovery. From there, I remember COVID came. We had a lot about financial issues at Healing Choices. And yeah, when they told us that the place is going to close, my first thing was, where am I going to send my CV now? By which rehab am I going to apply now? So lucky, our, our previous boss, Peter Killian, had a good relationship with Pastor Derek, the owner of Freedom Recovery Center. And I told him, I like, Peter, please, man, can you speak to Pastor Derek? Because I remember Derek phoned one day and asked, like, why, like, are you like closing? You understand? Rehabs is not supposed to close because we in the business of saving people. So when one rehab closed, like how many people is going to be lost to addiction? That was his like words. Spoke over the phone, spoke to Peter Killian, spoke to Pastor Derek, and that is how I ended up getting employment at Freedom Recovery Center. Yeah, so today I'm an addiction counselor. We facilitate classes. I do one is going to apply, but it's something that you need to do. You understand? You need to ask yourself just some of the things that I ask in step 10 with the daily in inventory. Have I been one-on-one counseling? We're helping people, and by me sharing my like story of where I come from, it actually gives people strength and hope and inspiration. Just like this morning when I spoke to one of the guys here, he like said, "Hey sir, you know what? Last week I wanted to leave, but by just you sharing part of your story, that inspired me." So it's things like that that makes my journey of recovery worthwhile. It's not about the money, but it's about changing people's lives. As you said, you're working like rehabs. We won't be millionaires, but at least we will save people. You understand? We won't get rich, but at least by just helping one another, by just helping another person see that there is hope. Like that seed was planted in my heart many years ago. We are planting seeds in people's heart, and that actually made me realize and it, why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And there's many times when people would come up to say, "Hey, sir, thank you for sharing." You know what? That actually just inspired me to keep on keeping on. So by the end of the day, that keeps me clean. And yeah, that is my just part of my journey. There's a lot more, but as I say, we're speaking about the good things. You understand? As much as there's bad things, but yeah, I like to emphasize on the good things. Yeah, so that is my like journey, celebrating 8 years clean today, and it's not easy. My journey hasn't been easy. Yes, I did hurt people in my recovery journey. Understand? And yeah, also yeah, and life has just been good. Today, I can say that God really restored my family, He really restored me, and He really restored all aspects of my life, and I'm forever, forever grateful. Thank you.
So Randall,
Yeah.
we heard that you're not only celebrating your recovery, your 8 years sleep. There's something else that we are celebrating tonight. What is it?
Yeah, so also on that gift, I'm very, very also overwhelmed in that regard. So yeah, I'm actually getting engaged. Yeah, so that is my just some of the blessings. I never thought that I would take this next step of my life. As I said, like 8 years, it's a commitment, and I believe that now I'm ready for the next commitment in my life. Yeah, so I won't address my significant other as my girlfriend now. So now I can proudly say that I have a fiance. I have a fiance. I can say, you know what? That is my fiance. So yeah, I'm soon to get married. So yeah, and on my 8 years, I believe that yeah, that I'm engaged. I'm getting engaged. Yeah. So that is the next gift of recovery. And without recovery, it probably wouldn't have been possible. Yeah. So thank you. Thanks.
So also, how is it like working at FRC, considering that you have difficult clients sometimes, and yeah, and all of that.
Yeah, so like in that gift, it's like sometimes I can relate to them, you understand? Like with the difficult clients, it's like I can relate to them. And just by sharing part of my like story, it actually makes them, I wouldn't say less like difficult, but it just opens something up in them, you understand? And yes, sometimes we have our up days, we have our down days, but by doing what we're doing and by just pushing through, you understand, it's like, yes, it like gives us a sense of purpose. And also me working here, if I can touch on it, it just keeps a person accountable. You understand, gift? It keeps a person accountable, it keeps a person clean. And by just sharing and just enduring, makes a person stronger. Now recovery and in your whole life. Yeah, as a whole, yeah.
So there's someone out there who wants to go to rehab. They want to come to FRC, but then they are just not sure. They're skeptical about it. What would you say to them?
What I would say to them, like obviously, just like myself, I thought that I can do it on my own. And I failed dismally. Like I couldn't even stay for 5 days clean on my own. I needed help. So what I can encourage you is just take a try, take a chance because it does do work and it really does work. And you'll see that your life will definitely change. Yeah, so I can encourage you, reach out. As you said, we are Freedom Recovery Center based in Niger. Yeah, we have our website up and running. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. And then you can actually see for yourself what we're all about. You can see different testimonies, different stories of the lives that has been changed through our institution. Like even me, myself, my life has been changed by just working here. I grew stronger as a person. I grew stronger in my faith. And I even grew stronger in my recovery. And it gave me that new zest for life. Yeah, so thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Ronald.
Thanks, Gift.